The Carolinas just experienced their biggest snowstorm in over a decade, and guess what? Another chance of snow is already on the way. I know it sounds almost unbelievable, but the pattern refuses to let go. Snow will be falling on top of snow for parts of North Carolina and Virginia by Wednesday night into Thursday morning. This won't be another historic event, but these sneaky smaller systems can sometimes pull off surprises, and with significant snowpack still on the ground from the weekend storm, any additional accumulation just adds to what's already been an extraordinary winter. Let me walk you through exactly what we're tracking, because there's a lot happening over the next 10 days. From this midweek system through a significant pattern change that could finally bring some relief by the middle of February. Starting with the immediate threat, a weather system is currently organizing across the Midwest and will push through the Ohio Valley Tuesday before reaching the central Appalachians Tuesday night. By Wednesday morning, snow breaks out across West Virginia, Kentucky, Virginia, and even the mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina. This is where the system gets interesting. Initially, the storm looks like it might fall apart as it crosses the region. But watch what happens. As cold air crashes down behind the system Wednesday night, moisture blossoms back up across northern North Carolina and southern Virginia. The European model, the GFS, and the Canadian all show a period of snow developing late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, potentially reaching as far south as central North Carolina and the Raleigh area. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. The National Weather Service is already acknowledging this threat. They've included chances of rain and snow for areas around Raleigh for Wednesday night and Thursday morning. When the National Weather Service starts mentioning snow possibilities in their forecasts, that's your signal to pay attention. Here's my breakdown of what to expect from this midweek system by region. For the Ohio Valley, this is primarily a light event, but accumulating snow is expected. The area where West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio converge is looking at 1 to 3 inches. Indianapolis should see an inch or two. Cincinnati picks up a coating to 2 inches. Columbus is looking at 1 to 3 inches. Louisville targets 1 to 2 inches. This won't be a major disruption for these areas, but it adds to already impressive seasonal snow totals. West Virginia sees more significant accumulation. Charleston is targeting 2 to 4 inches. Beckley and the higher elevations could see 3 to 5 inches. Morgantown should see 2 to 4 inches. The entire state will see at least some accumulating snow from this system. Virginia gets interesting. Southwest Virginia could see 2 to 4 inches of wet snow. Roanoke is targeting 1 to 3 inches. The Shenandoah Valley should see 1 to 2 inches. But here's the key. Late Wednesday night into Thursday morning, as colder air crashes south, a band of snow could develop across the Tidewater, the Delmarva, and the southern mid-Atlantic. Norfolk and Virginia Beach could see a coating to an inch. Richmond might see similar light accumulation. North Carolina is where this gets most interesting for those who just experienced the weekend storm. The European model shows a corridor from Greensboro through Raleigh and into southern Virginia receiving 1 to 2 inches of snow late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. The GFS is slightly more aggressive, draping snow further south with amounts approaching an inch even near Charlotte. Winston-Salem could see 1 to 2 inches. Greensboro is targeting 1 to 2 inches. Raleigh should see a half inch to 1.5 inches. Charlotte might see a coating to an inch. The mountains around Asheville and Boone could add 2 to 3 inches. Now, I want to be clear about what this system is and isn't. This is not another historic storm. This is a rain-to-snow transition event where the accumulation window is limited to a few hours late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. The snow will be wet and heavy, not the fluffy powder that fell this weekend with those incredible 15-to-1 and 20-to-1 ratios. But here's the thing. When you already have 12 to 18 inches of snow on the ground in places like Greensboro and Charlotte, adding even an inch or two on top provides a fresh coating that preserves the snowpack and extends the winter wonderland conditions. For areas that got dry slotted during the weekend storm, like Raleigh, which only saw 1 to 3 inches while Charlotte got buried, this system actually gives them a chance to add to their totals. Understanding the meteorology here helps explain why this won't be a bigger event. The energy driving this system is encountering a ridge of high pressure that's essentially putting a cap on development. The trough associated with our storm is what we call positively tilted, meaning it's stretched out and elongated rather than digging in and intensifying. For this to become a major winter storm, that trough would need to become negatively tilted, essentially curling back on itself and intensifying. Instead, the system just kind of slides through in a stretched-out configuration. It tries to get its act together over the Carolinas, which is why we see that late-night snow blossom, but it never fully wraps up and bombs out like the weekend storm did. Looking beyond this midweek system, the pattern gets really interesting for the next 10 days. Thursday into Friday features a much more aggressive clipper system diving out of Canada. This one brings widespread light to moderate snow from the Great Lakes through the Ohio Valley into the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. The European model even shows some light snow reaching as far south as North Carolina from this clipper. For the Great Lakes region, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Detroit, Cleveland, this brings a solid 2 to 4 inches of powdery snow Thursday night into Friday. The Northeast from Buffalo through Albany to Boston sees similar amounts. This won't be a major storm, but it's noticeable accumulation. The bigger story with the Thursday-Friday clipper is the cold air it ushers in. This weekend, February 7th and 8th, shapes up to be brutally cold across the eastern Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast. We're talking temperatures 20 to 30 degrees below average with some of the coldest air of the entire winter. If you're into winter sports, this weekend could be absolutely perfect for skiing and snowboarding across the Appalachian Mountains. There will be flakes flying, the snow will be cold and powdery, and conditions will be pristine. It won't be a disruptive storm, just a perfect snow globe atmosphere for mountain recreation. After the weekend cold shot, something interesting happens in the extended range. Around February 10th through 15th, the models are showing signals for a potentially significant storm system tracking across the middle of the country. There's a lot of lower pressure showing up in the ensemble guidance during this time frame, and I want to watch this closely. At the same time, a ridge of high pressure builds into the central and eastern United States. This creates what we call a negative P&A pattern, a trough out west with a ridge spiking into the central and eastern U.S. This typically means warmer temperatures for the eastern half of the country. I think we're going to see temperatures moderate significantly as we approach mid-February. The 60s become possible across the south. The Deep South and Mid-Atlantic could see substantial warming compared to what we've experienced over the past several weeks. Some of that tremendous snowpack across the Carolinas and Virginia will finally start to melt. But here's the uncertainty. The pattern remains highly volatile. There are mixed signals about whether the cold air completely retreats or whether we get another significant Arctic intrusion around Valentine's Day and beyond. The polar vortex disruption that some were expecting has trended weaker in recent model runs, but that doesn't mean we're done with winter by any stretch. What I can say with reasonable confidence is that the second half of February looks different from the first half. The relentless parade of Arctic outbreaks and major winter storms appears to be winding down. That doesn't mean we won't see any more cold or snow. We're still in the heart of winter, but the extremes we've experienced should moderate. For those keeping track at home, let me give you a quick timeline of what to expect. Today, Monday, February 2nd. Cold and quiet across most of the country. Brutally cold morning across Florida with freeze warnings statewide. Black ice advisories continue across the Carolinas, where the weekend snowpack is creating hazardous conditions. Tuesday, February 3rd. System pushes through the Ohio Valley with light snow developing across Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. Nothing major, 1 to 3 inches for most areas. Wednesday, February 4th. Snow spreads across West Virginia and Virginia during the morning. System appears to weaken during the day, but watch for redevelopment Wednesday evening. Wednesday night into Thursday morning. This is the window for snow across North Carolina and Southern Virginia. A coating to 2 inches possible from Charlotte through Greensboro to Raleigh. Rain transitions to snow late. Thursday, Friday, February 5th to 6th. Aggressive clipper dives across the Great Lakes into the Northeast. Widespread light to moderate snow, 2 to 4 inches for most areas. Very cold air follows. Weekend of February 7th, 8th. One of the coldest weekends of the winter for the Northeast and Great Lakes. Great conditions for mountain recreation. Early next week, pattern begins transitioning. Temperatures moderate across the east. Watch for potential storm system development around February 10th and 15th. The bottom line is this. We're not done with winter, but the most extreme and relentless portion appears to be ending. The Carolinas might see another inch or two of snow this week, and that's notable given what just happened, but it's not another historic storm. The cold continues through this weekend before moderating next week. This has been an absolutely remarkable winter. The ice storm, the historic Carolina snow, the repeated Arctic outbreaks. It's been relentless. For those of you who love winter weather, you've been treated to one of the most memorable stretches in years. For those who are tired of the cold and snow, relief is finally coming. Stay warm, stay safe, and I'll keep you updated as these systems develop.